All right, we're live, guys. This is Patreon. It is 1:55 p.m. on 1/20/2023. I'm with the best of the best, Austin Lane. Austin, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I mean, we had the last time we talked, it was right around the holiday season. So had a great holidays and a brand new year and ready to get it going.
All right. Well, today we're going to go back to Crown Jewel. We had a request for this, and then me and you kind of joked around about doing it. So I wanted to talk about this match because, well, it's got some. I'm not going to say heat. I'm just going to say when it comes to the smarts, the internet wrestling community, it looks like I actually looked up some stuff from the Observer because we do a show called Observing the Observer sometimes on the big shows to see what Dave says, to see what that smart audience says. Not only Dave, but the readers of the Observer. Dave gave it a whole 1.5 stars, and it was voted worst match of that show. And I think it would be interesting. And I had text my buddy Lance right before we got started. And I said, I'm really excited about this match because it got such a bad rating, but I want to hear what Austin says about it more than, what the fans say about it. I don't think sometimes that the fans are I want to say smart community. The smart community doesn't understand matches like this. What do you think about that?
Well, I think honestly, the internet or the smart community, I guess you would say, a lot of times they are leaning toward, like there's a joke online about how if it was in the Tokyo Dome, it'd been right. stars and everything. I think that honestly, that the internet is kind of, so I would say that if it wasn't for like social media and the internet and that kind of stuff, that match right there, I mean, you kind of look like, you look at WrestleMania 3, Hogan and Andre, it's one of those where that was a huge thing. And then if it happened, during the Twitter days and the, YouTube and all that kind of stuff, I think it would have got picked apart a lot more. I think that
people would have just shit on it. Yeah,
we had community.
Yeah. We had a huge discussion. We talked about Wrestle Kingdom 17 on Observer the Observer this past week. And I went through down a rabbit hole talking about stars and what they really mean and why you go over 5 stars. And I introduced the star system to this area when I was doing WrestlingRideOnline.com. And it was one of those things that some people knew about it. A lot of people didn't. But I could walk through the door and somebody say, well, BT's here. Let's try to have a better match.
Yeah, including myself.
Yeah. Well, Austin Lane included. But it was good for me because I could always think, the guys are going to show off more. I'm going to get a better match. But it also, I was in West Memphis in the dressing room with Alan Steele and all of y'all, and Alan Steele said the best thing ever. He said, it doesn't matter what BT thinks.
Yeah,
that is one guy, and it really is. That's the. And I told Alan, I kind of looked at Alan. I said, "Man, don't kill my gimmick, man. Don't kill my gimmick." But we talked about that, Alan and I, on a show with him. But to me, it's gone. Like for instance, me and you have movies that we like. And we can watch over and over, and it's our favorite movies. But are we going to say it's 10 thumbs up? Or are we going to say, well, that one's 7 stars, but this one, we don't pick them apart. And I don't understand the actual picking apart. If you enjoy a match, whether, I thought about Rock Hogan Warrior. There's a Flair Hogan match from Madison Square Garden. I know I'm saying Hogan's name a lot, but it was the way it made me feel. It was so much excitement going on. And I think I went back to that than just tearing people, and that's what we do is tear matches apart, but on this show. But I think I went more to what's the storyline and just sit and enjoy it, kind of thing.
Yes.
But that you're right about that. If there wasn't, like the Observer was going out to like 2,000 people at one time when I first started subscribing. 2,000. All right. So, and there's no telling how many hits and everything and all, and it is just blowed up when it comes to, and the whole wrestling community on the internet wants to give stars and such. So we're going to look at a 1.5 star match, and I want you to tell me after we get done, I want you to tell me, was it that bad? Was it really that bad? Or was it they just, you know, when it comes to fans in this century, really, do they not understand what, you know, unless it is, and I'm not saying it for a bad, because your style was a lot like that, kind of a flippity floppity is what I like to say. I'm not saying that in a bad term, because I love every style of wrestling, really.
Right.
And that's why I'm excited about looking at this match, because I love this match. I said this is going to get a shitty rating, but I love what they did. Two huge guys. So anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I mean, I'll say that, you know, believe it or not, this is actually going to be, I intentionally done this for this podcast, is this will be the first time I've seen this match. So I'm going to come in to it as a wrestling fan. I'm going to come into it just like it was happening live, so that way you'll be able to get my opinion on how good it was. I mean, honestly, like all I know is, like you said, I know that Strowman had posted online that 5 stars, all this other stuff, and you got a lot of heat and backlash for it. But I'm going to give it my honest opinion, and I'm not going to go into it knowing what's going to happen. I honestly, I don't even know who went over in the match. So I wanted to actually get the honest and truest opinion.
I think Braun gets it, Austin. That pissed off a lot of people, but I think he understands, and he actually said something about Ospreay being such a great wrestler and blah, blah, blah after that. But I think he gets it. It's so funny that some people don't get it and other people gets it. Okay,
Wait,
we're going to
I will say this. Let's say this going into it.
All right.
I mean, a lot of people are talking about the match. They talk about the match, and that's the whole purpose of everything. They're going to remember Crown Jewel for Roman and Paul, and they're going to remember it for this match. Like, I don't even know the rest of the matches. I just know of Roman Reigns and Logan Paul in this match.
Yeah, and we had Patreon member DRO David Owens. He heard us say something about it, and he thought we might have been joking about it. But I think this is an eye-opening match. Just be a fan and enjoy it is what I'm going to say.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to start it at 142. It is on the Peacock Network. I believe this is Crown Jewel season 4. Yeah, season 4, episode 2. It will start at 1 hour and 42 minutes. It's a little over 10 minutes viewing. You will hear no sound. If you are watching this on any video except the Patreon video, you can't actually watch it with us unless you are a Patreon. You can see it on Memphis Wrestling next month. It'll be on there, but we have to blank everything out. So let me get it started here. But first, if you're listening to the audio version, I'm going to take right now, I'm going to insert a commercial break. And then when you come back, we won't stop until the very end. No more commercial breaks. All right, back from commercial, getting ready to get it going. 1 hour, 42 minutes, fixing as we say in the South, hit play. So I'll make sure I got this muted, and we're going to hit play. All right, so we got almost. What is your thoughts just on this guy? Would you just love to be a promoter and have him?
Oh yeah, I mean he's one of those guys. He's kind of like with Memphis Wrestling is Big Ben Bishop. I mean when you see a guy that size come in, I remember like when we have Scotty 2 Hotty when he was there. All the other matches going on, guys working their butts off and everything, but what I remember is I believe the dark match had Big Ben Bishop, and immediately Scotty 2 Hotty comes up to me and he says, "Hey, who trained that guy? Where is he from?" I mean, it's almost as if he was ready, like, "Hey, let's get this guy a job," and he hadn't even seen, his work yet, because you always wanted to see, the larger than life wrestlers, that that's what that
Oh, as a kid, that's what we loved. Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. I seen Hulk Hogan in Blythe, Arkansas, and I came up to like his chest. He had hair on his chest by then with a heart with hair and chest, and I was just I thought it was because you look at Lawler and Dundee and Valiant, they were all normal sized guys, bigger than life, no doubt about it, bigger than life, but normal sized guys. And then here I was, Terry Boulder was there, and he was huge, and Andre the Giant was always like, I did not grow up thinking, well, man, he had shitty work rate. I never thought that about Andre. I thought, oh my God, it's Andre the Giant, and I loved everything he did. So,
yeah, and when you watch his matches, you don't expect and you don't look for, the inside out bump or a coming out top rope or anything. It was always a spectacle. It was a huge,
That's what he was. You're right. Yeah, an attraction.
The Crown Jewel. Look how big that stage is. That stage is huge. If you go to Jonesboro, Arkansas, they can put this same show on in Jonesboro, Arkansas with no huge stage like that, and you're not going to remember nearly anything about it. But you notice the stage because it's larger than life. That's what you want to see. That's what they see. They see dollar signs with these two guys right here.
And Strowman's gotten some fantastic shape. My mama, who I love, she's a huge Strowman fan, talking about how he lost so much weight and got in shape. Since he was off for a while from the WWE and was doing independent work, but then when he came back, he looks fantastic, man. And he's one of those guys that a lot of people, when it comes to, we're talking about the smart community, Ken is not a big fan of this guy. I'd love to have him on my roster, him and almost both. So
absolutely, I think they dropped the ball with him like a few years ago when Brock Lesnar had the strap, and I think when they were really behind him, they should have put him and Lesnar, at WrestleMania and put him over with the title.
Yeah, I think he pissed Lesnar off, didn't he? In one match, he hit him really hard, and Lesnar was like, "Man, settle down."
It was a little stiff. It was because he was going so fast during that.
Right. Yeah, he told him to slow down. How many times have you had to tell somebody to slow down?
A lot.
Yeah. Look how much bigger he is than Strowman. That's what kills me about this Omos guy.
Yeah, and you look right here, legitimately, like the beginning of this match, them just standing off is literally just to show the size. I mean, it's the same thing as when King Kong, he always climbs, the tower, because it's got to show how big he is, and that's exactly what they're doing right here. I mean, just look at the size over there, and it's one of those where you see that guy like that, and you're like, well, you're not going to have a 5-star classic with him, but you don't have to. I mean, everything he does is so believable. I mean, just because of the size of him.
I agree.
And I like the way they put him with AJ at the very beginning.
Just a huge reaction for both of these guys at Crown Jewel, and I think that's part of it too. I think these two guys are over. That's what it's about.
And that Crown Jewel. I mean, you take a look at it, you have to take a real bump. I mean, literally, you got the test of strength right off the bat. They'll go low, bring in the corner right now. I mean, they don't have to do all these bumps. They're telling a story. They're showing the size, and it's just basically a hoss fight. And
we didn't get any shine here. Why is it no shine? We just want to go straight in to letting the big guy do all his stuff. Is that showing that he is bigger and badder than Strowman? Is that the reason they didn't do any good stuff for Strowman? Any shine for him?
Yeah, because if Strowman right off the bat, if you're working a guy that size, if right off the bat he gives him an arm drag or a hip toss, then anything done later on will not mean nearly.
I see what you're saying. So they saved that. He's a big guy. He's showing his dominance over Strowman, who is also a big guy, and Strowman didn't get any shine whatsoever here. So you're saving it for the comeback. You're saving it for the comeback.
When you work with a guy that size, and and it's that believable, especially with Strowman and how much you wouldn't expect to see someone dominate. How many times you hear all the time, an announcer to say, I've never seen, so and so be dominated like this before. It's putting that story over. And with you working a big guy like that, you save everything. You don't even take him off his feet till the end. I mean,
right there was a hope spot. He did something that was believable with the ropes. Anybody, any size of any wrestler or a man that has throat like that, that's what I like about it. They're showing it. They're doing it really smart in the sense that they didn't just punch him in the face and he fell. They did something that would hurt anybody. So,
yeah, and you like the Hogan Andre. Hogan and Andre, it was a lot of punches, kicks, forearms, chops, or whatever, and they saved that big body slam at WrestleMania 3 till right before the end.
Yeah, they're trying to build for this body slam too.
Yeah, you want to save it. You do not want to do it. Let's show Omos again, and I mean, look at the size and just the power because he picks it up like he ain't nothing.
Yeah, he's showing his dominance as, like you said, we don't need some hope spots because the belief is you can't completely die because if you completely die, then it comes off, it comes off as if it's a squash match. You don't want to completely die. So,
yeah, and I mean, honestly, you're not going to cheer on somebody who's dead. So,
I never thought about that. You're right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't cheer on somebody's dead. I mean, you're not. If the good guy in the movie gets shot in the head, you're not going to cheer for him. Here in the next few minutes, it's always you get clipped in the arm or whatever, and you got to push. You got to dig down deep to get work your way out of it. That kind of deal. Get people behind you. So you don't play dead. You got to show that life in it because you show them you got life, they'll give you life back.
Right.
And just what I love about they're slow and methodical. They're just showing how much power.
Right.
The more that Strowman sells, the more that almost dishes out to him. I mean, to me, it's like looking at especially the Crown Jewel. Those people aren't watching, Wrestle Kingdom and that kind of stuff. They're what they're doing is they're looking at the stars, and then they're looking at somebody that size. I mean, that's. If you're worried about like a heel, you're going to be scared of a guy who's 4 times your size, not a guy that looks the same as you.
Right. Making a comeback here. We're going to get some. Is this just hope spots? Or are we coming all the way back? 3 punches, a little bit of a rest spot, not a rest hold, but just let's wait a couple minutes.
Yeah, and on that seconds. One, almost, it shows his green a little bit. He should have came. Instead of sitting there for as long as they did, leaned over, breathing, almost should have probably kept it going a little bit. But you see right here, now you got him moving.
Oh,
boom! Yeah, I know that's supposed to be in that spot. There you go. But
he did go over.
That cat still hasn't taken a bump. Still hadn't taken him off his feet.
Look at that crowd, man! They are nuts for this match. I love this spot by Strowman. It's one of my favorite spots that he does, but he gets killed on it. And I love it too because everybody expected, he's going to hit him
for in the ring.
Yep.
Because if he takes and does the shoulder tackle on the outside and knocks him off his feet, then the bump in the ring is not going to mean as much.
I never thought about that. Yeah, the comeback bump. Where we get some of that coming back. He actually makes the comeback. But this has been just almost, and it doesn't hurt anybody. That's what you got to remember. You can get all of the, take all the heat and then make the comeback, and it don't hurt you, especially as a baby face.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just the size, because Strowman does a really good job of staying alive and sowing fire. That that even just the selling, the majority of the match has been almost like it doesn't hurt Strowman any because he's alive through this whole thing. He's staying alive. He's showing that fire. There it is, right there.
God.
The big buck. I'd go home, honestly.
Oh, they went home with it too.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
There that was sweet. That was sweet.
Yeah. You saved that bump. He finally took the big man down, and the crowd goes crazy. That's why literally, like, as soon as I seen the bump, I thought to myself, I'm like, perfect thing to me, if I'm booking it, is that would be the finish. Literally, just he showing fire.
He wasn't able to get any of his moves in. He got a little bit of hold spot. I like that spot there, so I'm watching the replay. But we do get picking him up out of the corner and getting the slam 1, 2, 3. No near falls needed in a match like that, right, Austin?
Exactly. Yeah, because the near falls, when you build up that entire, if you build up to finally get him off your feet, and then there you get near falls and near falls and near falls, it takes the whole match. It throws it out the window. It really never mattered.
Never mattered that if I see what you're saying. So if he made the comeback, grabbed him in the move, did the slam, and 1, 2, and he raised up his arm for that, then that meant nothing to the crowd.
Yeah, because you do a false one right there, and then all of a sudden the next one, every time it's going to take a little bit off. That's why you want to structure a match. You want those false finishes. You want the intensity either going up, or you want that intensity telling a story where the crowd just barely drops. It's always going to drop. So that's why you see, if you take and do the spear, the next one might be the superplex. You always want to move up, because regardless, just by human nature, a crowd is going to slowly go down, as you're going with the false finishes. They're going to slowly go down. So you always want to up the intensity of the move. That way you're keeping the crowd up. So if they go down just a little bit by human nature, you're bringing them up higher.
You talk about that, and so with your experience, how long you been? I've said your name a couple of times the last couple of days, and I said Austin Lane, 20 plus years. I can't ever remember how long you've been in the business.
24.
24. So we're getting close to 20. Next year, I can start saying 25, or sometime this year, I can say 25, and it'll be. And I know the answer to this, but it's kind of inside. They say inside baseball all the time on Conrad. But I kind of inside. You're there in the ring, and you're talking to yourself, and you said, "Look, we're going to do this, this, and that. We're going to go to near fall 1, 2, and then we're going to do this, this, and that. Boom, boom, boom. Near fall." And then after that second near fall, you say, well, we're going to do another one after boom, 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 and then we're going to go home. Do you ever see the 2 near falls and you think to yourself, it's time to go home now? And then you say, hey, let's go home now.
Yes.
Do you change the match by what you're listening to?
All the time. As a matter of fact, my last 2 matches on Memphis. So like this past Saturday in Tuckerman, the final round of the tournament, myself and main event Brad, we had the crowds, and you can ask Brad or ask several people, Brad, and then the match before that was with GL Savage. Each time I even told Brad, I rolled over and said, hey, we have them now. Stop what you're doing. We're not going to the next spot. Listen to me. This is what we're doing. And I would cut out something or cut out a couple things and go home, because where you have them up here, you're not going to get them any higher. I mean, just humanly possible, you're not going to get them any higher. So we're already here. You want to keep them here. So, you figure out a way to, instead of taking the chance of the next couple, falsies, to bringing them down a little bit, I wanted to keep them here. So I rolled over, told Brad, hey, let's go home. We got them. You can even ask Brad. I said, we've got them right where we want them. It's time to go home.
I've had to do that. Almost got a fight in the dressing room one time. My team everything was up, and I said, go to the hot tag. They went to the hot tag. The other team, the baby faces doing the hot tag boom. And then all of a sudden, they went into business with themselves, for themselves, not with themselves, and just started doing like 100 moves. And I was like, wait, that was the hot tag. And they had to pull us apart because I was so upset about not following psychology and about not listening to the crowd. I would be the guy that said, okay, time to go home. So as soon as I said that, it would be going into the closing segment, no matter what you were doing. I've had to call it 2 minutes into the match. Let's get out of the ring. It's horrible. The match is horrible. Get out of the ring. Go to the finish. And it's one of those things that you learn. And if there's a lot of guys, and I can't, I'm not going to say anybody's name because I can't even think of anybody right now, but I think a lot of the psychology, what I noticed with Memphis Wrestling, and I noticed with EPW, I watch EPW every once in a while, is that the guys in this area do understand psychology now. Yeah. For a long time, they didn't, and what they would do would just move after move, and then, okay, it's your turn to do move after move. It's your turn to do move. And then you don't have any psychology part of it. I love hearing about Tuckerman. Tuckerman is one of my favorite places to visit because I love the arena, but this is going to sound, you don't know exactly what I'm saying when I say this. I like being there when the house is packed. I mean, I don't like being at Tuckerman when we don't have a lot of people. So that's just one of those things where, and when the house is packed, there's a different energy there for it. All right, guys, we're going to clear it up for this episode. It was recorded, like we said earlier, on around 2:00 on January the 20th. We want to thank everyone. You can join the Patreon. If you're just watching this on Memphis Wrestling Video, we have a best of a best tier. It's only $8. There's all kinds of stuff. You'll get a video every month. And then we're going to put together a package after you've been a member for over 6 months. I believe it is 6 months. And it'll include a custom shirt. So only the members of Best of Best. And, well, we're going to give Austin one also. We'll have the custom Best of the Best shirt. I might even get one. So there we go. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.